Monarchy, understanding the role of monarchs in governance. Introduction to monarchy. A monarchy is a form of government in which the state is ruled by a monarch, typically a king or queen. The monarch's role is often passed down through the same family from one generation to the next, with leadership typically inherited by the oldest child. Monarchies exist in various forms, from symbolic to absolute, each impacting governance differently. Types of monarchies. Monarchies can be categorized into two primary forms: symbolic monarchy. In this system, the monarch holds no political or economic power. Instead, countries like the United Kingdom and Japan operate under a parliamentary government, with the monarch acting as a ceremonial figurehead. Absolute monarchy. Here, the monarch holds full political power and makes critical decisions without the checks of a parliamentary body, often leading to a more centralized form of governance. Drawbacks of monarchy. The main disadvantage of a monarchy is the potential for leadership to be unsuitable. As the leader is typically determined by inheritance, there may be instances of ill-equipped or unfit rulers. Additionally, monarchies often lack democratic governance, which may facilitate the abuse of power. Footnote: monarchies can range from symbolic to absolute, influencing governance and power dynamics in different countries. Socialism, a system of shared resources and equal distribution. What is socialism? Socialism is a political and economic system where the state controls the distribution of goods and services to ensure an equitable society. Unlike capitalist systems where private ownership is the norm, socialism focuses on state-run ownership and equitable resource distribution. Examples of socialist states. Countries such as China and Cuba are examples of socialist states, where labor and resources are distributed with the aim of achieving equality. These nations often operate under one-party systems and central governance. Challenges of socialism. While socialism seeks to reduce inequality, it often faces challenges related to incentives for productivity. If everyone receives equal resources regardless of effort, there may be little motivation for individuals to work harder. This can lead to inefficiency and economic stagnation. Footnote: socialism aims to eliminate social classes, but it faces challenges like reduced motivation due to the lack of incentives. Democracy, the rule of the people. What is democracy? In a democracy, the people hold the ultimate power to make decisions about leadership and laws. The concept of democracy is deeply rooted in ancient Greek philosophy and emphasizes the sovereignty of the people through majority voting. Characteristics of a democratic system. Democracies value the protection of fundamental human rights, ensuring that citizens are free to exercise their will in decision-making processes. Countries like Norway, Sweden, and New Zealand are strong examples of modern democracies. Challenges in democracy. One significant drawback of democracy is instability, as leadership changes can be frequent. This continual flux in leadership can make it difficult for governments to maintain long-term consistency and address pressing national issues effectively. Footnote: democracy is rooted in popular sovereignty but can face instability due to frequent leadership changes. Autocracy, centralized control and absolute power. What is autocracy? An autocracy is a form of government in which a single individual or ruling party has absolute control over the country. This type of government centralizes decision-making and leaves little room for external checks on power, often suppressing the civil liberties of the population. Examples of autocracies. Historically, autocracies have existed in absolute monarchies and other centralized regimes, such as the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin. In these systems, the population has little or no influence over governance. Disadvantages of autocracy. The key disadvantage of an autocracy is the risk of power abuse. The concentration of authority in one individual or party often leads to corruption and authoritarian practices, undermining democracy and human rights. Footnote: autocracies centralize power in one individual or party, often leading to potential abuses and lack of civil liberties. Federalism, power divided between central and regional authorities. What is federalism? Federalism is a form of government where sovereign power is shared between a central government and regional states or provinces. This decentralization allows regional governments to have authority over local matters while the central government maintains national power. Examples of federal governments. The United States is a prime example of federalism, where power is divided between the federal government and individual state governments. Federal systems allow for localized governance, promoting efficiency in larger nations. Challenges of federalism. While federalism promotes efficiency, it can lead to economic inequality between different regions. Some states may have more access to resources, leading to disparities in economic development. Footnote: federalism decentralizes power, but it can create economic inequalities between regions. Oligarchy, rule by the few. What is oligarchy? Oligarchy is a form of government where a small group of elites hold significant political power. These elites often come from wealthy families or powerful organizations and make decisions based on their collective interests, often to the detriment of the general population. Modern examples of oligarchy. While not officially recognized as such, some modern governments are seen as oligarchies due to the influence of large corporations on politics. The United States is often criticized as an oligarchy because of the significant sway that financial and corporate entities have over political decisions. Challenges of oligarchy. Oligarchies can lead to significant social and economic inequalities, as decisions are made by a few, benefiting only a small elite while neglecting the needs of the majority. Footnote: oligarchies concentrate power in the hands of a few, often resulting in economic and social inequalities. Republic, a government of the people. What is a republic? In a republic, the power to govern rests with the people who elect representatives to make decisions on their behalf. This system values participation and the equal opportunity of citizens to influence the decisions of their country. Republics and democracy. A republic differs from a democracy in that while both are based on the will of the people, a republic involves elected representatives, whereas in a democracy, the people directly influence lawmaking and leadership selection. Challenges of a republic. Republics can face challenges related to corruption, especially when leaders do not uphold the values of equality and representation for all. The system is vulnerable to manipulation if power becomes too centralized or concentrated in the hands of a few. Footnote: republics give power to elected representatives but can face issues with corruption and lack of true representation.